Full circle. Beer, flake beer, full circle.
And then
Absolutely.
and then we see, and I get there's a couple controversial ones. I can't say that I think Monster should be on the craft beer list, but I do know that they went and they did buy up a lot of independent craft breweries. So they are producing, they probably are because Monster is some of the big under 25%, but still some of the big investors in several very, very large, like Cigar City. These are big national brands. So, you know, I think that the individual brands probably should have been on the list instead of Monster as a whole. I don't know if that because then it becomes a conglomerate. So I was a little that to me was the only one that I thought was a little controversial to be on there with Monster.
Absolutely. I mean, but there's lots of, we understand our big monopolies and we understand that conglomerates over time become monopolies. So I would argue that's my stickler about those types of things
Mhm.
is that when you have a few places that get together and they have a joint venture, that's a lot different
Yeah.
than when you have a larger company come in and take over multiple different brands over time. And in the food industry, really,
Yes.
really wild, which we do not have time to go into,
No, I know, but I do
in
know.
addition to beverage. But like, it is absolutely insane. You think the monopolies in beer are messed up? They in the food industry, like all our food comes from the same. Okay,
Yep.
sorry, I'm not getting
No,
on a rant,
I know.
but
I was in the food
but it's
business for a long
it's
time.
3 it's 3
Yep.
branches, and then it's, like, 10 fake branches, and those 10 fake branches, like, they don't exist, they're just fake companies. So, I would love to see that not happen in beer. I fear that it will continue to happen as things continue to grow, and I won't name any names, but there's been some recent selling of different, brands and things like that. What I will say is that, like, a Florida-owned brewery
Mhm.
currently, Funky Buddha, was a part of that in the past,
Yes.
which I find very interesting. The owner sold it to Constellation.
Mhm.
They, I don't know how many years passed. To be completely honest, I'm not like pulling the story out of thin air, but I don't know for the definite how long they had it. They brought it
They
back.
took it back. Yep.
They took it back. They said that's not how we wanted our business to go. We'd rather buy it back and control it again. So I will say there's a vibe
Yeah.
of
Well,
we don't love that energy.
and I don't wanna go into the whole story either, but we're seeing that with Cigar City now too.
Yeah, yeah.
So, that is one of those and listen, when these when a big company like Monster came in and bought something like Cigar City and the quality didn't stay up to where it was and the sales went down, and because it was still independently owned, the majority was still independently owned, they could come back and say, "Listen, you're just not doing a good job." And I love that in the craft beer industry, it is one of those things where when the big company comes in, they don't always do a good job, and that doesn't always like it does fall back in the hands of the original owners, which I love, and I love that about craft beer.
And sometimes consumers know, and sometimes consumers have no idea. And we're spoiled with lots of things like free beer and free tea. And we have the insight, and it's kind of funny. Like months after something's happened, my brother will text me. He's like, "Hey, I heard a little bit of tea." And I'm
Right.
like, "Catch up on it," like, but oh yeah, okay. So now it's just getting around to the general
Right.
public. So
Yeah, something we knew about months
I
ago. Yeah.
all I know is that I'm spoiled to be drinking amazing craft beer in Tampa Bay,
No, me too.
even if it's not from Tampa Bay, even if it's on that big old list from the Brewers Association of top craft beer. And all we can do is support each other and love each other, big or small, and just, you know, back up your homies and do collabs.
Yes.
So as we talk about what's happening up in the next week, if you're ready to talk about that,
Yeah,
I'm
let's
ready to tell you I am doing a collab